Hey guys, it's Alex. I went to that thrift store I love again today, which might be a little bit excessive. I might have a slight problem, but I got a ton of books again, as per their $5 a box policy. So I got another giant box of books. I don't even know if I can show you on camera because there are like 30 books in here. I couldn't count them all because I couldn't reach the bottom. Let's see if I can do this. Crap. I'm not this strong, clearly. Massive box of books. There are honestly 30 books in here. I don't know what I was thinking other than they were $5. And I can't say no. I have a problem, guys. That's heavy. I honestly don't even remember what books I got. They were just everything I was interested in for whatever various reasons. I just like being surrounded by books. Like if I had shelves on all four walls just like staring down at me, I'd be super happy. That is my ideal room. Just surrounded by books. So, yeah, this is another haul for y'all. I hope you enjoy watching me unbox my many, many books. But seriously, if you like buying books and you like owning a lot of books, books are expensive if you buy them new. Check out your local thrift stores. Goodwill's policy is $1 for a paperback and $2 for a hardback. I have a bunch of books from there. And then some other thrift stores have policies like Diversity, which is $5 for a giant box. And it's awesome because you can't buy, the 2017 releases. But you can buy a bunch of books that you love. Like, this is why I'm never caught up on what's popular right now. It's because I'm broke and I don't go to the library because I'm lazy, so all my books come from thrift stores. So yeah, let's start. It'll be super fun for me so I can remind myself what I bought. I don't even know how to start. This book does not have a cover. This book is Tis by Frank McCourt. He wrote, am I holding this the right way? Yes. Tis by Frank McCourt. I haven't read any Frank McCourt, honestly, but I've heard good things about Angela's Ashes, which I own already. I got from a thrift store. I have a problem. I buy too many books. And I don't know. I'm interested to read that and this. Like, I don't know. Heard good things. I've actually heard a lot of bad things about Angela's Ashes too. I had some classmates who read it in college and they were less than impressed. But I'm looking forward to all of his books. Full Identity by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I don't know much about this other than she has a double identity and her parents freak out when she turns 13. I don't know. But I loved Margaret Peterson Haddix when I was a kid. Like, her books were always so awesome. Like, I think it was called Turnabout. About the people who got old and they took some magic drug and they were like 80 and started getting younger. But then they couldn't reverse it, so they were just getting younger and younger until they died or something. It was awesome. And she wrote one where girls were, where there was like a community stuck in like a time warp thing. It was a touristy thing, except half the people in the community didn't know it was a touristy thing. They thought it was actually like the 1800s or something. But I don't know. She's cool. Throwback to my youth. Oh, The Woman Who Rides Like a Man. I don't know if y'all can see my shelf, but Tamora Pierce, all of her books go from here all the way down to here. And there's a nice little section up here for the Song of the Lioness Quartet. But if you can see, There are only 3 of them. I was missing one. So, I am quite pleased to have found the one I was missing. I used to own it, but I lost it or something. So this is going right up there. That shelf is kind of full, but I will make room. Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. This is the guy who wrote The 5 People You'll Meet in Heaven, which I read for a class in high school, and it was really good. And, I don't know, looking forward to reading this. Hawk Song by Amelia Atwater Rhodes. If you saw my last haul, I got 2 other books by her, and I saw this time, and hey, why not? It's the first in the series, and I've read it. It was good. If you like supernatural young adult things, this one's about shapeshifters. She's written a bunch about vampires and witches too, all set in like the same universe. My youth. And speaking of my youth, Animorphs. A booktuber mentioned them the other day, and, well, it's going to be a while until I post this video. But, so I guess it would be the other week another booktuber mentioned Animorphs, and then I saw it at the thrift store, and I just couldn't resist. He was calling to me. I haven't read Animorphs since I was in like 4th grade. If you haven't read Animorphs, your childhood is lacking. Feed your inner child and go read them. This is Right Naked by Peter Gold. I feel like I've vaguely heard of him, but I'm not sure. And honestly, the back just looked vaguely interesting. It's about a 16-year-old writer. She's a girl, and I don't know. It was written in like a cool style, so I have no idea what it's about other than writing, so hopefully it's decent. Moment of Truth by Lisa Scottoline. I don't know. This is a thriller. It's about a guy who confesses to a murder he didn't commit and hires a really bad lawyer to represent him, which I don't understand why that was necessary. He couldn't have just made a plea deal. That seems like something that could have happened instead of hiring a lawyer to defend you, but I haven't read it, so maybe it makes sense in the story. I just saw a random thriller and decided to pick it up. There are so many books in here. I've been through like 7, 8. I've made no progress. There's still a giant box. Save me from myself. Please, somebody. This is The Almost Moon by Alice Sebold. She wrote The Lovely Bones, which I think that's off screen. I have The Lovely Bones over here, and it was really good. I highly recommend. It's about a girl who was, I believe, kidnapped and raped and murdered by a pedophile, and then the book takes place mostly when she's dead, or entirely when she's dead, or something. But it was really good. I remember really liking it. I think I read it like twice. And this is by the same author. So I just picked it up. I have no idea what it's about. I didn't even bother reading the back because I'm lazy. Looking forward to reading it though. This is House of Sand and Fog by Andre Dubus III. I'm butchering his name. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of this book. I have no idea what it's about. It's apparently suspenseful. That was as far as I got on the back, but the cover looked cool and the title looked cool. And I'm very shallow and wanted to buy a bunch of books. I'll let y'all know when I read it. Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz. She might have written something else I read. Or maybe not. I don't remember now. I don't know. It's about vampires. I think it's pretty popular. Or she's written another series that's really popular. But I felt like a vampire book. I don't know why. I'm not usually really into vampires. Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells. Heard of this? I've heard it's good. Don't actually have a clue what it's about, but I'll find out. Lucky by Alice Sebold. Again, same author who wrote The Lovely Bones. This is her memoir that's apparently about her assault and rape, which sounds horrific. I had no idea she'd gone through that, but she's a wonderful writer, so I'm hoping to enjoy this despite the dark subject matter. The Necessary Hunger by Nina Revoire. Revoire? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. It's about teenage high school basketball players who compete, and I think there's racial tension and stuff and things. I clearly have no idea what this book is about. Also, there's paper in here. I hope it's a note. Is it exciting paper? It might be exciting paper. What year is this from? I don't know what this is, guys. Oh well. I don't know why I'm still reading the back while I'm on camera. I'm sorry. Continuing on with the rest of my haul. Also, my stacks of books over here are like crumbling, and I think I've only been through like half of them. If that. There are so many left. Like, my camera's not gonna let me record for this long. I might have to make 2 parts to this video. Timeline by Michael Crichton? Names. He wrote Jurassic Park, which I haven't read, but I saw the movies. So I was like, hey, let's read this science fiction book by a guy who wrote the book that inspired a movie that I vaguely liked. Why not? Judy Blume's Summer Sisters. I think this is an adult novel by her. I'm not entirely sure. But it's Judy Blume and it looked good. Why Does the World Exist by Jim Holt. This is an existential detective story, which is the entire reason I picked it up for that line. I want to figure out what an existential detective story is. It's really hard to say. No idea what it's about. I guess trying to figure out why the world exists. This is a super long video. I'm really sorry, guys. The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. This is a really good read if you haven't read it. I enjoyed it. I'm not religious and I thoroughly enjoyed it, so recommendation right there. Senator Ted Kennedy biography by Theo Lippman Jr. I like the Kennedys. I don't think y'all can see it. Ugh. Yeah. My Kennedy shelf is down on the floor. Down here, I think. Y'all can't see it, but I like books on the Kennedys. I've read so many. The Kennedys are fascinating and horrible people. Fascinating. Awful. It's great. A Separate Piece by John Knowles. I don't know anything about this, but I've heard of it, and it's supposed to be good. Or at least it's supposed to be a classic, and it's short, so it is a classic that I should read. If you feel obligated to read some classics, pick the short ones. It doesn't take as long if they're awful. Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. I don't really know much about this. It was a movie. I never saw the movie. I never read the book. I always kind of thought about it and then didn't. And I saw the book, so I was like, sure, why not? Which is pretty much why I bought most of these books. I just wanted to buy a ton of books. Black Hawk Down by Mark Bowden. Bowden. I'm sorry if y'all are offended by my horrible pronunciation of names. I try to look them up for my reviews, but when I do hauls like this, I have no idea how to pronounce any of this. But Another book that has a movie that I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen it. I might have seen it and just forgotten. I do that sometimes. But the occasional war book is interesting. I'm not really into the genre, but on the occasion I can thoroughly appreciate it. Just like once every year or two, I like to pick up a war book. It teaches me things. This is Killing Mrs. Griffin by Lois Duncan. She wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I own and have read. I read it when I was much younger, I think. I vaguely remember it, but I was feeling like buying thrillers, so I got it. Low standards. Killing Mr. Griffin. I'm sorry. Mr. Male teacher, I assume. Yeah. Some kids accidentally killed their English teacher. We've all been there. Oops. Eugene Onegin by Alexander Pushkin, which I got solely because nothing's as cute as Pushkin. Pushkin's super cute, guys. Scoot Over Skinny. It's a nonfiction anthology. There are a few good writers in here that I noticed. David Sedaris and Anne Lamott, especially. I really like both of them. It's an anthology on being fat, I think. I don't really know. I just saw David Sedaris and Anne Lamott, and I really like nonfiction. Anthologies are fun. I've been really into David Sedaris. I read When You Were Engulfed in Flames a while ago, and that was pretty good. He's really funny. If you haven't read him, check him out. Philip Roth's Operation Shylock. I have no idea what this is about. I think it's about communism. The Red Scare. Or I'm lying about that. I don't know. But I tried to read this in high school, and the library did not have it. Or it wasn't in, or something, and it was never in. Or I got it, and I don't know. I wanted to read it in high school and didn't, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's fate. It's time for me to read it, you know. So I buy 30 books at the same time. I'll definitely start on this soon, you know, with all these other books I have. But yes, this is supposed to be a good book. I've heard many, many good things. Going back to the beginning of this haul. Frank McCourt, Teacher Man. You know, to add to my collection. I own all 3 of his books. I don't know if he's written more than 3. These are just the 3 that I've heard of. I own them all, and I've never read anything by him. I'm really sorry. I will remedy that eventually. This is Truth and Beauty by Ann Patchett. If you watched my review on... I'm blanking on the title. The Autobiography of a Face. This is about that author. Ann Patchett, in my edition, Ann Patchett wrote the afterword. And this is about Lucy Graley and her struggles with cancer. There is some controversy over this book. One of Lucy Graley's sisters came out publicly and said this book wasn't okay with her and that Ann Patchett shouldn't have written it. And blah blah blah. All that. Sorry, I'm not trying to be condescending to her at all. I was just summing it up. But I kind of wanted to read it, but I also wouldn't buy it because I don't feel like supporting this author. Since Lucy Graley's sisters kind of said they didn't want, or at least one of them, I don't know if they were all in agreement. One of them said she did not want this book published and thought it was insulting and not Ann Patchett's right to publish it. But so I got it from a thrift store and I don't have to support the author. And I will review it for you guys at some point as a follow-up to Autobiography of a Face. I guess it would have been nice to read this and do those both at once, but I did not have this book then, and I kind of wasn't planning on reading it until I saw it. 29 books. So, not quite 30. 29 is still a pretty solid number. And I'll have to do another haul soon, because I got a couple of books at Goodwill. Not today. Well, I got 2 today, in addition to all of these. and a couple the other day, and I'll probably get some more. So like when I have like 6 or 7, I'll make a haul for that. But I didn't want to include them in this because this ridiculousness was enough on its own. If you stuck with this whole video, you're impressive. Thank you. Why do you hate yourself? And that is all for this haul. Finally, after 29 books, all of which cost $5 total. So definitely check out your local thrift stores if you want to own more books, guys. Definitely recommend it. Bye.